Alright, so I had a whole video made and edited of the winterization process on the 240. Fortunately, my laptop crashed and I lost all the footage and all my video progress, so I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown. Got winter rims and tires off of Jesse's Skyline. Thank you. The diff is welded, so it's basically in slide mode all the time, especially when the roads are pretty slippery. When it's dry and wet, it's not too bad. It's just like any other car, but in conditions like this, it's a controlled slide. I also put a Mishimoto Rad in there because the old one shit the bed. I don't think this is the best choice, especially for the winter time, because the car takes forever to warm up. So I'm on the hunt for an OEM Rad. This one will do for now. I also put a new water pump and thermostat in there, so when she does get up to temp, it gets pretty hot. It's the first 15 to 20 minutes that you know, you're just screaming fuck until it gets warmed up, so not too bad. Also, shout out to Ape Auto for doing the alignment on this thing. Runs and drives perfectly straight, totally mint now. Oh, and one more thing, hooked it up with a remote starter. Definitely a must for Calgary winters. I highly recommend it to anybody that drives a car here in the winter. I also put this personal steering wheel into the 240. As a car guy, not having something to modify is kind of a depressing feeling, so I'm super thankful for the 240. Ever since the Skyline went down, the thing's kind of taken on a transformation of its own. It's no longer that old Beat 240 from the earlier video days. It actually runs and drives now. It's turnkey, super reliable, and we got music, got full interior back in this thing. If you guys remember, this thing was kind of neglected and left behind for about the first year or two of our ownership, and ever since I've taken on the daily duties with it, it's come a long way. So alright, so I'm going to give you guys an update on the Skyline, but before we get to that, we're going to go pick up some parts for it. So I'm actually picking up a new front end for the Skyline. The fiberglass fenders are sold. The hole for the turbo and the hood is gone. I'm going to show you guys pretty soon. Right now, me and David are going to head out and go pick up some parts. Sweet R33 here. It's a clean ass garage, man.
Thanks, man. I'm actually just trying to clean it down.
Alright, so here is the haul. These are metal GTR fenders and all of the necessary parts to fit them. So I didn't realize how different the GTR front end was. I bought a GTR hood thinking it would be a direct swap, and realized the curvature of it is different. It's about 1.5 inches longer, and yeah, so I'm gonna run back to the shop, test fit these. Got side markers, headlight spacers, believe it or not. The latch is different, the hinges are different, and then these are just risers to kind of bump the fenders up a little bit more. My number one regret on this 240 is taking out the washer pump. Constantly pulling over and throwing snow on the windshield. Alright, here's the Skyline in all of its current glory. The front fenders, as I mentioned, are gone. The motor is still not in, but there's some very exciting news. That engine is pretty much ready to go and ready to put back in here. Don't mind the coilover box in there. Got a brand new set that we will get to on this car, but as of right now, they're kind of just in storage. But yeah, the engine, it's built up. It's almost ready to come back. Ended up having to find a new RB30 block and restarted. Just pretty much did it again from the ground up. Bearings, had stuff. I transferred over a lot of stuff, but it's going to be a freshly rebuilt engine, line honed. All the corrections and measurements are good to go. Thank you to the boys at Rev Performance for helping me out with that. So this is the story of how I ended up with all these GTR parts. So as you guys know, huge hole in the hood for the turbo, taller RB30 block, big turbo, bad manifold design led to this, which we are all correcting this year. Found this GTR hood for sale and picked it up thinking it would be the same fitment as the Gtst hood. It's not. Ended up having to source hood latch, hood hinges, and these right there are fender adapters that actually sit on the frame rail. I'll show you in a second. GTR fenders, and another cool little thing that's different is these headlight spacers. So these actually fit behind the light. I'll show you guys in a second here. But essentially, what I came to realize is that everything on the GTR front end is bigger and more aggressive than the GTST. It's a minimal difference, but looking at it now, you can see where the GTR gets all that aggression from. So I'm going to start off with the hood components, the hinges as well as the latch, and then I'll be able to get the hood fitted. And then I'll move on to mounting the fenders and spacing out the headlights. So just by looking at the parts here, you can tell that the GTR hood is actually going to sit quite a bit higher. Look at the curve on the hinge for the GTR hood, and the GTS hood is just straight across. So now this is all going to come into play when fitting the engine and the single turbo setup. So again, the whole reason I had to cut a hole in my hood is because of the bigger displacement engine, the bigger turbo. This way, I'm actually going to be, so look at this, this is what the fender mounts onto. So I'm going to be getting that much more clearance. Overall, it looks like I should be able to shut my hood now and keep it nice and clean on the top. This hood is a little bit dented, but nothing that can't be fixed. And for the price that I got, essentially a GTR front clip for, I can't really complain. So for the headlights, there's this little spacer here that just threads onto that mounting stud, like so. That becomes the new mounting screw. And for here, I'm pretty sure I just need to drill this hole out. Kind of looks like it's a factory indent. Pretty sure the GTR headlights come with that hole drilled. So I'm gonna just kind of mock this up and see. Yeah, pretty much on the money. So compare that to how this headlight used to sit. It's way tucked in there. Okay, I'm about to close the hood and check the fitment. But first, I want to show you guys how much higher these fenders and the hood actually sits. So that's gonna give me lots of clearance, and I shouldn't have any issues with the turbo not clearing the hood. Not only is it more functional by giving me more room, but this hood also weighs half of the stock steel hood. Like David was saying,
Yeah,
it feels
like carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Damn. Whoa. Look at those gaps. It's like perfect.
Obviously there's still like bolts and stuff missing. It's kind of just mocked up. A few bolts here and there, but it lines up like pretty bang on. And it's not even something that's noticeable. How much higher the hood sits, the fenders, the lights stick out more.
Yeah, for real. Damn. Yeah, dude, that's clean. Shit. I feel like, because I've seen this car a lot, I can like tell.
You can tell that it's more
raised.
wide.
Like, and raised a bit.
It does look more, it's got more like...
Yeah, like beefiness. It's like wider and taller. Oh, damn. That's some Smoky Nagata type stuff. Yeah.
This grill is originally an OEM GTR grill, which I kind of just made brackets for to fit when it was a GTS front. So in theory it should fit. I always had a weird gap by the headlights with it last year. I might have to fuck around with the brackets.
Yeah, I'm probably a bit. But for mock-up purposes,
Hell yeah.
yeah. Yeah, look at that. Damn, doesn't it look like a different car? Give this video a thumbs up for progress.